Greetings, beloveds. Beloveds, when a storm comes, you either want to be far beneath the surface or far above the surface so that you are not affected or impacted by the storm. If you are far beneath the surface, say at the ocean floor, there's a lot of pressure that is being applied. When you start to raise yourself far above the storm, there is still pressure that is being applied. And if you find yourself in the midst of the storm, there is yet again pressure that is being applied. But when you allow yourself to say, what is this pressure? Understand that pain is a level of pressure. The degree to which you say, I can withstand this pressure, is the threshold for what you refer to as your pain threshold, if you will. What if what you consider to be your pain threshold was a choice that you were making in every moment? You can dive to a certain depth and the pressure becomes so great that you say, I cannot withstand this. When you lift yourself high above the storm as a spaceship or a rocket may, there must be a way in which you are encased, a way in which you are protected, to protect you from the elements, so to speak. You have encased yourself within an egoic structure that you think is protecting yourself. Beloveds, when you allow yourself to be encased in love, you will come to see that there is no need for protection. And you can withstand the pressure and the pain of having a nail put through your hands and put through your feet in such a way that it will not cause you pain. This is the sense of ego mastery that each of you are looking to experience in your journey. To remember that you have indeed walked through the worst of it. You have indeed allowed yourself to come to a place where even this incarnation seems like a walk in the park compared to what you have experienced before, the losses that you have suffered, the destruction of civilizations, the floods, the fires, the asteroids. All of this yet remains, beloveds, illusionary. All of this remains yet another dance, yet another spin within the same grand ball of life. So if you allow yourselves to pause for a moment and say, I could see this from another perspective. I could see simultaneous perspectives at once. I could allow myself to experience simultaneous existences. You will come to see that you may not necessarily need to be myopic and say, this is all that exists. What if you were to have a conversation with your higher self and say, would you be willing to introduce me to other aspects of myself that coexist? And how could we learn to live in harmony? Can I bring back intellectual information, ideas about how things are successful in another realm of existence into this dimension and look to be the Nikola Teslas of the world, look to be the Albert Einsteins, when merely all that you have done is allowed yourself to cross through indeed a portal of consciousness that has you bring that to this present moment. Beloveds, when we all gathered together, we talked of love and we spoke from lifetimes of memories. We were not distracted by electricity and planes flying in the air and cell phones ringing and alarms. We were connected to nature. We were connected to our brothers and sisters of the trees and the earth and rocks and plants. And there was nothing to distract us from the truth. And right here, right now, beloveds, there is nothing to distract you from the truth. And the truth that is the truth always is that you still remain as God created you. Mystical and magical and beautiful, brilliant. Open to the consciousness of all that you are. And the words that we have spoken through many, many cycles of incarnation. And you are indeed the masters, the guardians, the legendary ones who come back to say, let us show you how to return back to the consciousness of pure divinity. And you do that every time that you step into the quietude, the solitude, the stillness of remembering who you are and what you are here to accomplish. So when something appears to you to be painful, when something appears to you to be outside of the realms of what you believe you are capable of doing, ask for assistance. Ask to be shown what you have not yet seen. Ask to be able to receive assistance for something that looks insurmountable to you. Zona Grace had to carry a very large box of books from the front door to the back of the building of her aunt's elevator. And the building goes from the front of one block to another. And this task seemed daunting, and she looked around for assistance. And then she looked within, and she said, what should I do? And what was suggested was that she tells herself, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, as she continued to take each step, carrying this heavy box of books. And then she saw an elevator. And then she saw the radiator that was just before the elevator. And she said to herself, if I can just make it to the radiator, I can rest the box until I can make it to the elevator. She allowed herself a way station, and she caught her breath. And then she made her way to the elevator, and she rested the books once again. And then she waited for the elevator to travel to her. And then she rested the books on the railing within the elevator, all the time telling herself, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Beloveds, there is nothing that you cannot do, and there is everything that you can do. And if you ask for guidance and if you ask for assistance, you will be granted exactly what it is that you ask for. And she arrived triumphantly at the door, laid the books upon the ground. And she was greeted with applause for this very burdensome task. Beloveds, it is all an illusion. In another dimension, she would merely have floated the books next to her using the forces of gravity. She was not willing to recall that or remember that. But just know that your journey is as difficult or as easy as you decide to make it. All that you need to, beloveds, is tell your mind that you can, and you will. And when you forget, and when you let the pain seep in, and when you let the fears take over the mind, take a breath, come to stillness, and ask for help. Higher self, how could I see this differently? I am sure that I am right about this. Can you show me another way? Yeshua, please help me to see love where I see fear. Please help me to see light where I see darkness. And I will illuminate a light that will shine so brightly. And you will be reminded of who you are, for I remember who you are. And I am here to remind you that only love is real, and the love that I have for you is real. So go today, beloveds, and be joyous in your journeys. Come to the remembrance of yourselves and of your other aspects of selves. And indeed, please reach out to beloved Kelsey, for she is doing God's work. Blessings to all of you, beloved ones. You can, you can, you can. Without question. Know that you have my love with you always. Let that be exactly what you need. Blessings to you, beloveds, and I will speak with you again.